When I bought my Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, I thought this would be the perfect project to start my YouTube channel. And it was. You guys have showed me nothing but support. But now I have 82 days left to get this thing ready for SEMA. There's a long way to go. When we got the car in the shop, it had so much damage to the front, to the back, the side, even the bottom. On the front, we had to repair a lot of crash damage, as well as repair some rust, clean up the bottom, and then we moved to the back where we found a quarter panel that had been replaced very poorly, causing a lot of rust. Now that we've done all this work, we're 82 days away from SEMA, and the next step is fixing the other quarter panel.
Welcome back to my dream Evo build. This thing has been nothing but a nightmare. On the other side of the car, we found a really bad quarter panel replacement, so we had to go find a quarter panel. Those were discontinued, but we found one in South Florida. We've taken care of all that damage now, and that is out of the way. The next step before I do body work to the rest of the car is getting this thing taken care of right here. On this panel here, they've put in 2 patches that have been done really badly. So what I'm gonna have to do is cut that out and then put my own patch in place. I really don't want the patch to be misshapen or not the same shape of the car. I don't have a lot of metalworking tools here besides cutting tools. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to go to the junkyard because I have an idea. I think it's gonna work. Let's get to the junkyard. Back at the junkyard again, and although I have been getting parts off of Lancers, it's because they share very similar parts. So if you come over here and take a look at this, the body line on this quarter panel is exactly the same as my Evo. The difference is it's wider, and it actually does get wider at the bottom, but this portion of the quarter panel is exactly the same. The bad patch repair is something that I can't do anything with. I'm gonna have to cut that out, but I can't find metal for it. Thankfully, we have donor Lancers. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna cut out everything I need to patch in this panel so that I can get a clean repair on the car and do the body work and save that quarter panel from having to be replaced. Let's get started.
With the parts back at the shop, the first thing I do is I start by cutting these pieces apart. I need to use both pieces, but I'm also going to remove that inside lip on the wheelhouse. Remember what I did before when I cut that inside lip off so that I was able to fold over the quarter panel edge to get a better fitment when I have a flush fit wheel sitting on the car. I use a bodyline tool at this point to mark out the metal so that I'm able to cut away just enough to see what's going on the backside of this repair.
Thanks to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. AG1 is perfect for my daily schedule when I don't have a lot of time to keep up with a bunch of supplements and we have all of these projects going on in the shop. AG1 is an easy daily routine that is packed with 75 vitamins and minerals, probiotics, and whole food sourced ingredients. Guys, this is the easiest daily routine that anyone can do.
After taking AG1, I feel better. I've seen improvement in my sustained energy throughout the day. I'm getting the support I need for my immune system. I've seen positive changes in my hair, skin, and nails. I feel more regular in my daily gut health. I've had improved focus and mental clarity, and my workout recovery has been much faster. AG1 is NSF certified for sport to ensure the highest quality and safety.
All right, let's see if this works. Oh, jeez. I think it's mixed. And now she's ready for consumption. That's actually really good. Guys, AG1 not only tastes great, it helps your body with the things that you need most. Number 1, you need gut health. Number 2, you need immune support. And number 3, you're gonna need that energy to continue on with all these major projects. And not only does it give you that, it helps you with recovery too. Guys, if you wanna take ownership of your health, try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D as well as 5 free travel packs. Go to drinkag1.com/JBI. That's drinkag1.com/JBI. Now, let's get to the build. Now with everything taken off and revealed the inside part here, it really doesn't look bad. And I honestly feel like this rust right here might have been caused by the improper repair. Because as you can see right there, there's body filler going in there. There's no metal right there. That is only body filler. So there was moisture getting in here. So if there was a rust spot on there, it really wasn't that bad. And now, thankfully, it's not that bad. I can change that part of the car with the piece that I have cut out from the junkyard, and we can get this thing moving. So it's a lot of work and YouTube magic, right? Nope, didn't work. All right, let's keep going. All right, so I've got the panel trimmed out. Let's see really quickly how good this body line actually lines up, because this is the first time testing this out here. And it's got a little bit of a wobble here. There we go, nice and even. Look at that, dude. It's like it was meant to be. I mean, besides the fact that it's not a wide panel, everything lines up perfectly, so.
Now I do the same thing with the bodyline tool and I mark out the cuts that I'm gonna make on my new replacement panel. Now I scribe some cut lines and make some cuts so that I'm able to get access to the wheelhouse so I can see what I need to repair there. With the bad piece cut out, now I use that as a template so that I'm able to make a new piece out of my wheelhouse that I got from the junkyard. With the new piece trim, fit, and held in place, I was amazed that it actually lined up really well with the Lancer wheel arch. These were totally different wheel arches. One is a little bit wider than the other, and this piece here actually lined up really well. Thankfully, I didn't have to cut further into the wheel arch. With some fine tuning on the outer quarter panel, the next step was to get the inner lip cut away. Once I cut this inner lip away, it was going to give me the ability to roll that edge like I talked about before so that I can fit that wider wheel. With both panels painted and protected now from corrosion, the only thing left to do was to weld this panel in place. Right now I hold it in place so that I can get the first few tacks in place so that this thing stays exactly where I want it. While welding a new panel in place, you are going to get some warpage. One of the most crucial things you can do is blow cold air at the weld to cool it down faster. This will cause the metal to contract and you won't get as much warpage from the heat. At this point, I roll over the edge and then I continue to grind the welds. Huge thanks to DentFix, who's been a constant supporter of this channel for a very long time. Here I use the Maxi to pull out all the damage caused from welding and grinding.
The car is looking amazing. This thing is awesome. I couldn't be happier with the results here, guys. Now I have my body line back in place. I still have a little bit of work to do on the weld zone area, but as far as that thing looks, it looks amazing. I gotta check to make sure there's no pinholes in the metal, and then if there is, I'll weld those up so that we don't have the same results. But take a look at this piece here that I removed from the car. This was the old repair, and if you remember from before, this was pretty bad. And if you look really closely, they cut through the backside. That's not a hole from rust. That is actually a hole where they cut through when they did that patch. Well, thankfully that thing is done. I am extremely tired. It's 9:30 in the shop right now. I'm ready to go home. I'm gonna clean up. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's the next day in the shop. The quarter panel looks amazing. And for $42, I was able to save my quarter panel and my wheelhouse. There were some really bad repairs done before, and let me just show you how bad these repairs are. Right here you can see this is actually the wheelhouse section. So they cut through on the backside when they tried to do this repair right here. That's really, really, really bad. But thankfully, we don't have to deal with that anymore. Everything looks good. Next step for me is stripping this thing down, getting it an epoxy primer, and getting it ready for body work. So the epoxy is gonna have to cure for a little while. So I have a special trip planned, and we're gonna go check out some cool cars, and I'm gonna show you guys some really cool stuff. But it's about 5,000 miles away, so let's get going.
The next day we set out to Manchester from Orlando, where we boarded Aer Lingus. This flight was amazing. We flew business class, which is my very first time doing that. And let me tell you something, this plane ride was a pure pleasure. And it was awesome because I got to do it with some of my best friends. After a short train ride to London, we enjoyed the sights, had a pint, and saw the king. With no time for tea and crumpets, we set off for Goodwood, where they have the most amazing cars of all kinds that you could imagine. You already knew I was going to find an Evo at Goodwood, and I found this Time Attack Evo 5 that looked awesome. Gunther Works brought out these 993 911s, and they looked amazing. These things were heavily modified with so many cool features. G-Technic let me and the boys go behind the ropes and check out this Koenigsegg Regera. The blue candy paint over the carbon fiber looked amazing, as well as the gold leaf with engine turns on it all over the car. Unfortunately, our last day at Goodwood was cut short due to rain, but this wasn't the end of the trip. This is where we actually parted ways and we all went to go do our own thing. The next day I headed over to Mallory Park where I met up with Matt Armstrong and his dad Tony. They introduced me to Frazier. Frazier has this 600 brake horsepower Evo 7. This thing was absolutely insane.
Thank you so much for taking me for a ride, Frazier. I appreciate it, man. I can't wait to drive mine now. You can drive this one. No, I would love to, but I want it to be like the first experience.
Like
yeah, and I drive that one, man, because
no, it makes sense.
It's beautiful though, dude. Badass, dude. Frazier, thank you so much for giving me a ride, dude. This thing is sick. Tell me about the car. Tell me, where did this car start with you?
Okay, so I built this car on my driveway about 6 years ago, and it's just taken abuse ever since then. So it's running 600 brake at the moment. It's a 2.2 GT30 76 turbo. It's got twin plate clutch, it's got a non-ACD transfer box with an upgraded LSD, it's got a rebuilt RS diff with extra plates in there, it's got a two-piece prop, not a three-piece prop, Alcons on it, Öhlins, Cyvex ECU. Yeah, it's pretty good. So it just takes abuse all the time.
So that ride that we just took in this car, that gave me goosebumps. Dude, that was awesome. It just pulls and pulls and pulls. And it doesn't stop.
That's in the wet as well. That was with me taking it easy.
That was.
So in the dry, that's what I was hoping that the weather was gonna clear up a bit, and then we could have had a proper drive. But,
oh man,
it's still good though.
I am so excited. I am legitimately shaking how exciting that was. That was so fun. I had no expectations, and then when you brought the car out and we drove in that, that was scary, dude. That was really, but it was scary fun though, in a good way. Exactly. So, man, I love this. So what do you, with a brake upgrade, something like this, did you run, you got rid of your ABS and all that stuff too, right?
No, I still got the ABS on it.
Okay.
I think the ABS is a good thing to have on a road car, especially on a day like today. You can stamp on the brake.
Exactly.
I've got an RS, which obviously has no ABS, but in the wet, it's pretty shit.
It's a terrible car to drive.
You lose, you have no faith in the brakes. As soon as you lock up once or twice, then you're sort of scared to brake.
Yeah.
You start braking earlier and earlier. But when you've got ABS, you can just stamp on the brakes.
Send it.
So, yeah, it's really good.
So how much improvement do you see with these Alcon brakes? Like, is it like quite a bit?
We didn't get to test them today because it's wet.
Yeah.
There's no point, but the brakes are amazing.
Okay, cool.
Like, that's one thing I'd say. Not one thing. The best upgrade you can do on an Evo, if you've got a stock Evo, brakes and suspension.
Okay.
A lot of people will go straight away and think, I want 600 brake, I want 700 brake.
Yeah.
They don't do the supporting mods, the brakes, the suspension, ECU, blah, blah, blah. They just go all on that, all that for power. But you can drive the car quicker. When you got the brakes, you can drive the car quicker.
You can enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. You can go around the corners faster, that's what these cars are for. They're point-to-point cars. They're not like get on the motorway and go as fast as you can.
Yeah.
You want them in two-wheel drive for that. They're good for that when you've got big power. But the best thing is the B road, what we call the B roads. So the country roads, the back roads.
Hitting the corners, enjoying that.
Yeah, exactly.
That was fun.
Like we did just over there.
Yeah, that was really fun. That was amazing. I didn't have the camera on at the time, and I wish I had the camera on during that.
I'm not doing that again.
Oh yeah, that was quite scary. But man, I love it. You got the 9 bumper. Is that that's a 9 wing, right?
No, that's a 7.
A 7 wing. Yes, the 7 wing is bigger.
The carbon boot, the USDM lights, which I guess you guys are probably quite familiar with.
Yeah, most of the guys there, they don't like those. They actually like the 7 lights.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
It's opposite over here.
Yeah, it's the things we can't get.
Everybody loves the US lights, but to be fair, people do like the 7 lights. I've still got my 7 lights just in case I want to go back. But
yeah, I like the look of the 7s, but I saw these LED ones that look really nice. That you can, it's basically like an upgrade you put on.
You can like customize them to have different patterns. And
yes,
stuff,
yes. Those look pretty cool. But I really like this. I love the setup, man. I love the way it looks. I like the you have the carbon fiber deck lid, all this. You got the what wheels are these?
These are just Team Dynamics wheels.
Okay, so those are nice. Those are pretty cool.
They're all right. To be honest, I just bought the wheels for the tires.
Okay.
I needed tires, so I was like, okay, let me buy some wheels with some new tires, and it worked out cheaper than buying some.
So like, I've learned a lot about these cars since I bought mine. I didn't know that the windshield is different from just the regular Lancer. I thought I'm like, oh, it's gonna be the same, but apparently it's 3 pounds lighter.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, so it's thinner. So it's thinner and lighter, which I didn't know because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna replace it with a Lancer one. But now that I know that, I can't do that. I have to put the stock
original one in. Carbon on the inside.
Yeah, man. So
door cards.
Full carbon door cards, carbon pillars on the sides. You got the are these the stock Recaros that come in this one, or are this the 9s?
No, these are the 9 Recaros.
These are the 9 Recaros. Okay.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Parcel shelf, carbon.
Oh, nice. That is nice. That is awesome.
Can't go anywhere without the toolkit.
Yeah, you gotta have tools. You own an Evo.
If you're in an Evo and you don't have a toolkit, then
you're stranded.
You're asking for trouble.
Awesome, man. Fraser, thank you so much for showing me around the car.
Welcome.
You mind walking me around some of these cars that you're working on here? Because you got some really nice cars here too.
Yeah, so this is obviously a yellow Evo 5, which is pretty rare. This has just been in some maintenance work, like timing belt, wheel alignment and stuff like that.
Nice.
6RS here. It looks like a piece of shit, and it is a piece of shit, but it goes well. It's one of those
quick.
cars you can. It's got an Evo 9 engine in it.
Okay.
So it's got the Myvec on there. It's one of those cars you can just drive it around the country roads and you don't really care if anything happens.
Yeah, something comes out in front of you.
Someone gets a scratch on my scratch.
Yeah.
And then this is Rich's Evo 8. This has got an Evo 9 engine in there as well.
This is noticeably wider. It's got the
it's got the wide body kit on it. But this is this kit is getting changed again.
Okay.
For the proper Voltex kit, because this isn't one. This is going to have a proper Voltex kit on it, which fits absolutely perfect. And we've got all his interior redone as well. Okay. Although they have had to go back to the place about 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
He wanted the seats perfect, and every time they come back, something's not quite right with it.
So, what you got here?
Then this Evo 9 that was just fully restored, probably pop the camera underneath.
Yeah, I saw this the other day. You guys had this on the lift, and this thing is immaculate. If you can see underneath here, like it is. Did you guys dry ice clean this?
No, so this all went back to bare metal and then has been painted again.
Wow, this is...
It was a rust-free example.
Yeah, this is spectacular. Like, this thing looks great.
I'll show you in the bay quickly. Hopefully it doesn't get too wet.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
damn.
All right.
Well, this is exactly the example that I want. It's kind of like a little bit of mix of, like, you have the upgrades, but it looks very stock appearing, very clean appearance. I'm going with a lot of upgrades on mine. I have about, I don't know, probably 15 grand in parts that I got for the engine. So it's mainly bolt-on stuff, you know, like all the easy things you can get and put on there. And then a few extra things, like I have like cams, I have springs, I have a upgraded turbo ready to go on the car. But this is exactly the look that I'm going for. A very clean OEM Plus look.
OEM Plus, yeah,
so I've always been into that look, but I also like the look like that. I like the carbon effects and all that.
That just slowly happened over years. So like I said, I've had that car since 2016.
Awesome, man.
And then when something pops up, it just goes on the car. Obviously, so I break Evos. So anytime I get an Evo in with a goodie that I want, it goes straight on the car.
There you go. Okay, so I'm over here at WMD, and you know I couldn't leave without getting some parts from Fraser. And Fraser, thankfully, you had the part that I wanted. So this is what I got here, guys. I love the look of this. I am going to do something really cool with this. I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm going to do with it yet, but this has been a part that I've been looking for, and it's been hard to find. So, dude, thank you so much.
You're welcome, man. Enjoy.
I can't wait, and I'm going to have a lot of questions for you. So I'm going to get your number, and we're definitely going to be in contact. So while I'm building this car, and if you ever come to the States, I'm going to give you a rip in my ride, dude. That was so fun. 100%. That was awesome.
I look forward to see what you do with that thing, dude, man.
It's going to be awesome.
The whole car, not just that, the whole car.
Yeah, so I come from the custom world, so like whenever I did stuff, I loved doing like custom paint, custom, you know, body, things like that. But I love going fast, and I have a really cool idea for this. So I'll show you guys that later. I'm gonna get back over to Matt's. I gotta help him with painting his valve covers.
What an amazing trip to the UK. We got to see some really cool cars, ride in some cool cars, and we even got some stuff for the Evo. Now it was time to get back to the States.
Back in the States, what an amazing trip to the UK. Thanks to everybody who stopped by at Goodwood to say hi, where we saw some amazing cars. Special thanks to Fraser, who sold us this Evolution valve cover right here. This thing is gonna look awesome when it's cleaned up and on the car. And also for giving us a ride in his 600 horsepower Evo 7. That thing was amazing. It gave me goosebumps, and I can't wait to experience that in my car. Special thanks to Richard, who left this thumb drive with Matt Armstrong so that I have every single thing I'm ever gonna need to know about the Evo 8. This has all the specs for it right here on this thumb drive, and that's gonna come in extremely handy when we go to put this car back together. Special thanks to Matt Armstrong and his dad Tony for giving me the hospitality and letting me stay at their house. I also got to see their new project, which is gonna be really cool, and I might actually go back there and help them with it. Hopefully I do, because that's gonna be a really fun one. In the next episode, we're gonna take the car down to bare metal, we're gonna strip off all the bad bodywork and paint, and then we're gonna put it in epoxy primer and get started on the engine. I can't wait to see you guys then. I'll see you next time.